All right, we are live. What's going on, everyone? Todd here. We've got Austin. We've got Chris. We've got Kaylee. We've got Talarico. Everyone is here rocking. Oh, John, sorry. I saw Talarico Young Agency. I thought that was your first name. I apologize, man. So today what I want to do, obviously, of course, is answer all the questions you guys have. But I also want to put you guys through the what do you call it? The like profitability seminar thing, not a seminar, just like a slideshow that I put my team through. I know it seems like it's not really the right place to do it, but it kind of is, because we're going to go over like how to track that your funnels are doing well and how profitable they are at the end of the year and how much you should be scaling into them versus other things. So we're going to do that today. We're also going to have Rob Sekel on the call here in a little bit. He's going to answer some questions. Next week, Rob is going to have a really cool presentation for us about seller funnels to get sellers, which is really cool for anyone who's in real estate, but also in mortgages, right? Because if you're in mortgages, you got a lot of friends in real estate who, you know, the only thing I want for Christmas is listings. I don't know about them. So that's one really great thing, just to build your network, just to get some listings for yourself. And at the end of the day, you know, the preferred lender on a listing, I've been that a couple times and I've never not gotten a transaction out of it. So it's good for everybody. So it's cool with you guys. Actually, why don't I go ahead and answer the questions first, because y'all came here and you're here right now. So anyone who wants to shout out, just go ahead and either type it in or speak out if you have any questions that you want me to go over first. And then if nothing, I'll just hop into the slideshow. Cool? All good? Perfect. So anyone at all, it's good to see you. Okay, so Austin, Chris, Kaylee. Okay, so it looks like all good to go. Gonna share my screen, hop over. By the way, while I'm presenting, if you guys have any questions, just shout out. I'll come back over here, switch it off, screen share, and then we'll just we'll get right to it. Okay. Screen share, do my entire screen, and share it. You're probably all seeing the rabbit hole right now, and I'm gonna hop over here. So this is the presentation. I mean, it's just like a slideshow thing, but it's just, I'm not gonna go through the whole thing and bore you guys with it. Like, I'm not. You're like your broker, like I'm their broker. So I'm just gonna go over like why it's important. So, you know, I'm gonna assume that nobody, by the way, if no one can see this, give me a shout and I'll make it bigger. But I'm gonna assume that what's up, guys? Sorry, I missed that. Okay, I heard some rustling. So I'm gonna assume that no one here wants to make less than $250,000, right? That's kind of a given. If you want to make less than 250 grand, you're probably in the wrong line of work and with the wrong circle of friends. My area is $200,000 per, you know, per housing price. That's kind of where we are. That's not really well written there, but $300,000 is the average housing price. Average commission 2.5%, $6,000 per transaction after the broker takes the bit there of taxes. This is how many transactions you get. This number 41, which is 250 divided by 6,000. This many per month, that many per week, right? So this is where it pertains to funnels, right? So if you're at 1% conversion from opt-in to close, which is where I'm at, there are people who are really good at funnels who are like at 7%. I'm not one of those people. I'm like brute force. I get as many leads as I can and then just worry about it later instead of trying to qualify them before I get them. So anyway, I got systems in place. So, you know, 1% conversion is where I'm at. So for 41 transactions, you're going to have to get 4,100 good leads that opt in. If the sales are made in the 8+ contacts, you know, 8 times 4,100 is 3,200, about 3,300 contacts. For the people here who are in Keller Williams, I started there when I first started. They say 33. Gary Keller says 33 touches per year. Just multiply this by by 4, and you'll see what I mean pretty quickly, because that's huge and egregious. That's like, you know, hundreds of thousands of contacts. I mean, it becomes obvious you need a system in place. You have a system in place to get the leads in, thank goodness. But just, you know, keep in mind that you want the autoresponder. You want a text message. You want a drip. Anything that you guys can, you know, do to get in front of your client and automate that, because that's going to take some serious legwork out of this. How do you check this for yourself? How do you know you're actually being profitable? Well, I mean, it's pretty easy. Your total profits from your funnels minus your total cost of your funnels. So your total profits, indirect or direct. So things that you close yourself. If you refer stuff out to realtors, if you build realtor relationships, that will then send you more and more deals down the road, down the pipeline. If you become good with some realtors, that's still profitability as a result of your funnel. So don't discount that. You should have a way to track that. In fact, I'm 99% sure you all do have a way to track that. That's, you know, in fact, that's the whole reason you would even send your leads out to anyone else. So, you know, your cost per lead, you're found in your ads manager. You can see that pretty clearly. Conversion is your opt-in to closing versus percentage. Again, mine is like 1%. don't worry too much about the numbers. The end result is just this. Okay, so basically it's how much money you make from your funnel minus how much it costs you to run the funnel. That includes software licenses, that includes everything, right? So how that number, that profitability, how do you allocate that? So 30% goes to taxes. Thank God. Thank God it's not more. 10% goes to admin stuff. 20% goes to your continued marketing is how I break it down. And 30% is, in case people need food or shelter happens to you there. This is, one way to look at it. It's like an example for mine. So this one closed 4 transactions. I mentioned that. The cost of the funnel here, it seems like it's just 75. Guys, is the sound warped right now for any reason? Is everyone good on sound? I'm getting some weird feedback on my end. If everyone's good, I'm going to keep going here. Just give me a shout if it sounds funny, okay? All right, so looks like we're good to go. All right, and then so 4 transactions, this many people reached, et cetera, et cetera. This is actually fairly high producing. This is almost like 8% conversion. This is actually pretty good for me. Anyway, so I spent 75, but I also spent a ton on software, right? Like link pages, Aweber, my CRM, a lot of stuff, right? So basically, this shows that the average price in the millions area. That's the market I'm in. Average 50%. Average GCI is 25,000 transaction. 4 transactions, 5,000. Sorry, I keep hearing back, going back, make sure it sounds okay here. And so apologize. We have broker at 20,000. Right. So I'm at 80%. Sorry, I got lost in what I was saying, so I get this feedback on. But we're 80-20%. I take my profitability, my 20%, less taxes, which is like 14. My recurring budget is 4,000. So basically, it's kind of like this. I just brought the breakdown here. You want to be in the green here. You don't want to, and of course you're going to be. But the only way that you can run these funnels and frankly not be green is if you are not keeping track of your leads, you're not following up. When you hand them off, make sure that everyone's doing okay and doing their part. So, and by the way, my team is pretty fucking good from this funnel here, so I'm pretty proud of that. And if anyone, no one in this funnel is on my team, they better show up. Person party because we work pretty hard on that funnel. Anyway, I mean that's it. I know that's really quick. Okay, so I do sound like I'm on hold. All right, let me jump in and come back to this. Hey, can you guys hear me? War. Man, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I apologize. One second. I'm okay.
Can you guys hear me? All right, now I can. All right. Awesome. What questions was Todd going over just a minute ago? I'll catch everyone up and see if I can help out. Gotcha. Okay. Are you guys setting up custom audiences at all on your ad funnels? Hold on 1 second. Just gotta fix my mic here.
Hey, out of curiosity, can anybody hear me? It's still pretty messed up here.
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay, cool. I don't know what the hell is going on, guys. I apologize for that. I bought this $3,000 computer thinking of making my life easier, but
I couldn't hear anything at all. So now I can. I don't know. I thought it was my mic that was messed up.
no, I'm pretty sure it was mine.
Okay.
That's awesome. Hey, sorry about that, guys. Rob, you were in the middle of saying something. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to make sure I was working again.
Yeah, no problem. I actually thought it was my mic that was all messed up. But I was just talking about custom audiences. I noticed, everyone likes to launch a bunch of funnels all at once and everything like that. But if you keep running funnels to cold traffic all the time, basically, well, the simple version is this: you should work almost like your custom audiences like your email list. So you'll notice once you build up your custom audience list, you get leads for sometimes 25 cents a piece if you're hitting your list up properly, plus your retargeting audience. Another thing is, I know we were chatting about it last week about going over hitting up different neighborhoods and communities on the home buyers list. If we go after like certain niches, I find that to perform very well. So an example would be like going after, let's say, like firefighters, or going after like strong niche communities. I run like a lot of police officer and cop campaigns. And once you get in the door with, like, let's say like a select group of cops, they'll refer you out to maybe like 30 more of their like fellow officers within their district. So it usually only takes like one to break into like a certain niche, and from there, they're strong referrers. So I like to go after niches versus a broad city or broad community usually, because once I'm in the door with that particular niche, the referrals start coming in a lot, and that way you're barely having to spend. Actually reduces your costs on your marketing just from the referrals coming in. So we can go over that too next week. I built out like 2 funnels I'm going to show everyone with the seller campaigns. I at least wanted to throw that out there for everybody.
That's actually really cool. So you're saying you're running these funnels not so much with the intention of generating a ton of leads really broad, but more of converting the one and using that to break into like a group you want to break into referrals.
Exactly. Yep. So what I'll do is I'll go strong on a campaign, maybe let it run for, I would say, a good month. The one funnel just for a month. So what happens, I let Facebook actually work these funnels. Like I try to put like no emotion, nothing to it. I don't like check it for like 7 days, or I don't even check it for 2 weeks sometimes, because eventually Facebook will just work its magic. And if the offer is right, it'll perform. So that's the thing. As long as you have a strong offer, Facebook will make that eventually work for you, and you'll start noticing that. What I used to do back in the day was, check it like 5 times a day, and check it every other day and all that, and then I would get all pissed off, all annoyed by it, wondering why my lead cost is this or this click is that and all that kind of stuff. So I just simplified everything, and usually have this one main funnel, 2 main funnels, and just work those, and the funnel eventually starts performing very well. And then once you're in those communities, you got to run the funnels. You're just running like almost like a retargeting type audience to the list you're building up. Because once you're in that community, you start running testimonial type ads and case study type ads. So they see other people within their niche or their industry getting the results that they want from you based on those videos. So that's the quick version.
That's awesome, man. That's actually really cool. I'm looking forward to that next week because that's something I've been doing the opposite. I mean, I've been going full broad spectrum, get as many as I can in, and just convert what I can. Like, this is actually way more effective because for anyone who's been in business for long enough to do a couple transactions, referrals are so much smoother. They're so much smoother than these lead conversions. Because
definitely. And once you're in that community, they almost want to brag about you to their other people. So that's what's good about going within like a select community. And then once you're in a community, you can specialize within that community. So then you take another level and now you become the go-to person in that community that specializes in XYZ. I mean, people always want to work with a specialist versus a generalist all the time. So get in the community. Don't be a generalist like everyone else. Specialize, but then you'll also get the other business that you worry about losing because you were trying to be a specialist. So they start asking you, can you do X, Y, and Z, or do you know who can help me do that? So then now you become the go-to person for all questions. So people have this mindset that you'll lose out on other business, but you actually won't. So I see Chris has a question over here.
Yeah. So that's a good one. Rob, do you want to take this one, or I mean, I think a screen share is best to show kind of what we're using for success here.
Oh yeah, actually, this is going to be for Tuesday. I'm actually building out all the slides for the seller campaign and the niche funnels. That's actually what I was going to do on Tuesday.
Oh, that's cool. So that's awesome. So yeah, Chris, I mean, the responsible that he's going to have something like really detailed and kind of thoughtful on next week. But for this week, I can just give you like a very generalized sense of it. It's not going to be as in depth as what Rob's going to go into, but I can just share my screen and pop over. Unless Rob, you want to do that yourself, you tell me.
Yeah, you can go for it, and I'll just chime in. Let me mute myself out.
Yeah. So as far as, let me go ahead and share my screen here, and I think that best thing I can do is, I love that portal thing. That's fucking cool. Okay. Best thing I can do. Where am I here? Sorry. Is show just like one of mine that worked in the area. So I'm gonna go ahead and. I feel like they revamped this. I like Ads Manager right up here. It's kind of crazy. But okay. So I got my ads. I'm just going to pick one that worked really, really well. And again, this is the one I kind of harp back to all the time. I've done other funnels, but I would rather show you guys the one that works really, really well as opposed to the ones that kind of work well sometimes. So this is taking about as long as expected to load. Chris, you still with me, man? Okay. All right, so this is a couple things to look at here. I mean, these are the results. They'll load up in a second here. The post itself, on the previous video, I showed a couple of resources of where to get this text in the BFA digital program. For people who weren't here last week, the place is it's called, I'll type it in the actual chat here as well, but it's called The Funnel in Facebook Ads. Okay, so everyone check that out for the step-by-step. For everyone who's just starting out, please, I mean, that's the best way to do it. It's got everything. It's got the landing page. It's got this text right here. It's got the woohoo forms. So go take a look at that. As far as the targeting goes, I think it has a targeting as well, but the one that I use, let me just hop into it. It's going to be on the side here. Yeah, so it was, let's see if I can copy the text of this into the, because that'd be really cool if I could. This is like hyper untargeted, just broad spectrum. So this is like a non-Rob kind of, he's like a scalpel, like a surgeon. I'm like the guy with a baseball bat that's trying to like break into a building with a baseball bat. So that's what I did here. The inclusions right here at the bottom, it's hard to see, but if you like highlight the bottom, whoops, sorry.
And both are highly effective. Right. It's just different.
This worked. Absolutely. Yeah. But I really like to see more about what you're talking about next week. I'm kind of excited about that. But yeah, I mean, you can see the area just Marina Del Rey, which is coastal Los Angeles, excluding a bunch of job titles. Now, I know the guys at Hancock don't do this for a variety of reasons, so do this to taste. I did this just because I was, paranoid about it, type A personality. So I excluded all realtors, paralegals, mortgage guys. I think the CFPB's in there too, maybe. Yeah, these are the behaviors I targeted: likely to move and first-time homeownership. And I got 4 of those closed, and it worked out okay. So, Chris, I mean, take a look at this targeting here if you want to recreate that or go into any specifics you want. Also, take a look at. Sorry, I get lost over here. A lot of screens here. And then take a look at the ad copy itself in the funnel module there, and just copy it in there. If you go, I mean, if you I almost used to hate saying this, but if you just copy it word for word and add zero creativity in there, like this one here had zero creativity. There's no Todd on this page. It's just 100% Ryan's ad. It worked. And the reason it works, and I go over this too, it's because of the way this is written. I mean, if you look at the first paragraph here is a hook, you know, it's an identifier. The second paragraph or second field here is like identifying a problem. Like, as you know, it's very hot market. It's difficult to get your offer accepted, etc. This is the solution. This is how we offer the solution, we being the person who's running this ad. This is your call to action. If you got an app, or if you don't have an app, you know, text West LA to this. This is how you get my. And then you have the copy here and the nice picture here. And this thing right here is exactly word for word what Ryan does. So, Chris, my short answer. I start with the long answer. My short answer to your short question is start in the funnel, copy it word for word, and use the targeting that's put out there for your area, and just kind of see where it's going. I shared. Where am I here? I'm gonna unshare my screen here. I get so fucking lost with this. Okay, stop. Sharon. Okay, yeah. I shared in the group an infographic. It's like 3 or 4 pages long about all the different things you can target. So for people who are in other industries, like insurance guys, or we've got a guy who's like a merchant services guy, take a look at that, because it's not always going to be as cut and dry. Yes, thank you, Rob. Just posted this right here. Click on that if you're on the video here. And then that's the infographic I was talking about there, and you can just research that. I mean, there's thousands, and if you combine them, it's I'm not good enough at math to tell you how many different combinations of targetings you can do. It's probably a lot. So I mean, that's kind of Chris, that's what I would that's kind of what I would say right there. I think Rob's getting into something here with talking about being able to do refi. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself real quick. Rob, if you want to jump in and
I was just telling Chris that because you mentioned he's in LO, so I figured I'd ask him if he could do some refis. So next week I'll add a refi campaign on there as well too. I was just showing him an example of going over, like, getting some qualified leads. And once you're in that niche, the more qualified you can get these leads, the better they'll close, and also the better chance you get within that community as well too. So I just wanted to show Chris what I'll show him next week, basically. Nice.
Austin, that's a good question. I mean, I'm gonna chime in on Austin's here, and again, it's regional. I tend to be, I could be wrong about this, but I feel like the targeting on Facebook is a little bit like pay per click, a little bit, in the sense that there's a reason why certain things cost more money, certain leads cost more money. So in my area, we get bought out by a lot of people with a lot of money, so I have to run $25 a day just to get noticed or get anything. I've heard of people running $5 to $10 a day, and they do really, really well. And I think it's really just situational. What I might say is start at like 10 and see if you're getting any traction. Bump it. And then when you get to a point where you're like, you're at $30 or $35 a day, and you're not really getting anything, cut it right away, because there's probably something wrong. And then we can go back and address that later. But that's what I would say. Short answer is, start at 10, work your way up. I'm at 25. On weekends, here's the thing too. Here's the cool thing is that ads perform better on weekends than they do during the week. So if the ad spend during the day is problematic, you're like, well, I can't spend $25 a day, 7 days a week. That's fine. Your best shot is, let's say, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and probably Sunday for real estate, for just about any kind of ad. Some people are off looking at their phone. So if you're gonna run cheaper during the week, maybe like a $10 or $5 during the week, make sure you ramp it up during the weekend, because you're really going to see a return. I go 25 during the week, and I think I go like 35 or 40 during the weekend. And I see a substantial change in the number of leads that come in, just because the emails that are ringing off and the autoresponder going off there. So yeah, I mean, start low, but go as high as you need to until you feel like it's like you're not getting anything, and then revamp and tweak it. Sometimes a very small tweak, like even just like a one word or like a color, something like that, or even just a couple dollars here and there is going to make a big difference. It's the taste. Yeah, it's one of those things you got to figure out for your market. I know, Austin, you're in Nashville, if I remember correctly. I think so. I know AJ mentioned this in one of the previous calls. I think he's between 10 and 25, and he sometimes goes over 25 too. And he gets a good amount of return, but it's all about the offer. I mean, if you can spend $500 a day and have a poor offer, and nothing's going to happen, or you can spend $10 a day and have an offer that really resonates with your targeting, and you could get some good traction. What I like to do also, just throwing out there, is that text 44222 to West LA that I put in there, as far as just in terms of cost effectiveness, that's a good thing to include if you have that, or if you already have some sort of a mobile thing, or even lead lead digits with lead pages, where you can just opt in via that way. Because what that does on Facebook, if someone sees that and they go ahead and they text 44222 to, I mean, they text Todd Holland to 44222, whatever, you don't get charged for that. They respond to your ad, they opted in, you got their information, but you're not actually paying for that click through, because they're not clicking through. It's just one extra way, and you don't get like, you're not gonna like double the amount of people you bring. You're probably getting like 5 or 6 more off the campaign, but it's 5 or 6 you wouldn't have had to pay for, and that are motivated enough to actually text through something, not just press the button. So, which also, factors in. I don't know why I brought that up for your question about budget, so I apologize. But that's because you can actually get some free leads and bring your overall cost per campaign down. Chris has a good question here. The question is, I signed up for lead pages, Aweber and Wufoo. Is there anything he's missing to start creating aside from making a community page? No, I think you're good. So you need lead pages, obviously, for the landing page, Awebers to do the autoresponder there, and the Wufoos for the survey. Optionally, if you move forward and you feel like you need something like this, there are a couple services that I could recommend for auto texting as well. But again, for what you're doing for the standard thing right here, I think you're going to see some results with that. So I think you're good. To keep it simple, just stick with what you have. I have like a really quick 10-part integration thing, Chris, that I think you can check with Roxanne, or I could even send it to you myself, and you can go step by step how to integrate that really quickly if you'd like to get that going, start yourself setting up. So yeah, good question. So yeah, you just need those 3. You just need 3. So yeah, absolutely. So all right, guys. So I'm gonna hang up. I'm gonna check the Facebook chat here for some questions if you have any here. Looks like we don't have any questions coming in here or on the YouTube thing. So anyone on the call still have anything you want me to go over? Cool tricks, anything at all? Want to learn webhooks on Zapier? No one wants to learn webhooks on Zapier. Rob shaking his head like, don't do this to us. It's like, yeah, it's brutal. So yeah, actually here's something kind of cool though. I use ActiveCampaign. I use like a version of ActiveCampaign. I'm a reseller for ActiveCampaign. So I use a version of it when you can integrate Zapier into it. So I'm kind of proud of this. I integrated my mailing campaign into my autoresponder. So when someone opts into a funnel and they're like the Temecula funnel or the San Diego funnel, Los Angeles funnel, depending on that one right there, they get put onto a campaign. And I use something called Zen Direct to auto mail stuff to them. So they can put on a mailer automatically. I don't have to tag them in. I don't have to worry about Vistaprint. Obviously, I pay for each thing that goes out there, but it's kind of cool because it's like I like to include those as well. Because, I mean, out here, it's like you get a lot of people who are super tech savvy and they like shred anything that comes in the mail, and you get some people who are like less so and more like, blue collar. And so, they see something that's, of value to them. Anyway, so I do that, and they opt in well. Okay, so I'm going to finish. Does Aweber act as a CRM? Do you recommend a CRM to auto leads into? Yeah, I'll get to that in a second, Chris. Just real quick, just to finish this up. It's kind of cool because it sets them on auto text, auto campaign. So a good CRM, like just to kind of segue into Chris's statement here, I like ActiveCampaign a lot. I mean, I've been huge on LionDesk. I've been huge on just about everything I've tried. But ActiveCampaign, I feel like it's just like really, I'm not eloquent today. It's really good. It's just really freaking good. So, but it's pricey. It's $49 a month. It's not, it's not the cheapest option out there. So, but yeah, I mean, I like it a lot. So that whole thing I just mentioned where I send the mailers out automatically, just like I would send them on an email list, that was some ActiveCampaign. It took a little bit of work with the webhooks and things like that, but it's doable. It's definitely doable. So yeah, I like it a lot. I don't know, Rob, what are some cool ways to follow up with a lead when they opt in, besides just sending them an email or a text message?
I'm a big fan of using video a lot of times. So when they opt in, I like to have like a auto video text go out, find them on Facebook Messenger and send the video there as well. And also, if you don't have their phone number right away, as long as they have an iPhone, you can send it through like an iMessage. So as long as you have their email, you can still send it.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it'll alert. That's usually what I do because it'll alert on their phone like a text. So, plug in their email on the phone. Sometimes you have to do it manually, but if you go to your phone, pop it in. As long as you have an iPhone, it'll light up blue. That means you can do it. iMessage and send the video link out that way. And sometimes I like to do like a personal, every now and then I'll take out like the automation part and get more personal with it, take some time with it. So, I'll make the custom video tailored to that particular lead, call out their name, where they're from, and, basically how the lead came in. So I'll mix it up, test it out between like automation plus putting some personal touch to it. So, especially if I'm running like leads where I'm trying to gather more information off them. Usually like the one I showed you, there's like 15 questions on there. So if they're a more highly qualified lead, I'll take the time to personalize the message I send to them. And I'll find conversions to be pretty high that way. So I personally like video right now of all the ways to communicate, and then mixing the video up and hit them up on social. So that combination. Try to go where it's less crowded. Their email inbox can be crowded a lot of times. So basically, I'm just trying to go where there's less noise, and if I can find them on social or hit them up through text, and then once I hit them up where it's less noisy, try to be different than everyone else, and that's where you can shine on video as well, and then give them an irresistible offer. So that's basically the simple version.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, so are you doing something specific for your video text? Are you using like a Lion Desk type of software, or are you just hammering out one by one, or what? For the
yeah. So if I want to track it, sometimes I'll use BombBomb just because their mobile app is good.
Nice. BombBomb, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna type.
So I'm really a fan of like testing out companies' mobile apps, because I function off my phone a lot. So a lot of times, some of these CRMs or these other companies, their mobile sucks. Their mobile apps suck. It's not that good on mobile, and that's mainly what I'm looking for, like who functions the best off mobile. And they have a good app, so I can just launch the video right from my phone real quick. All the tracking will be already built in within the link, and then you can send it off through all the platforms at once. You can hit them up on Messenger, text, email, and all that. So, and then I'll do like an auto sequence sometimes of videos. So if they read this or they open that, this video will go out. If they don't read this or they don't open that, a different video will go out. So there's ways to play around with it.
You can do that on BombBomb. That's badass.
Yep. So you can set up automation sequence.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I have to look into that, because that's huge. I want to do more videos, so that's excellent.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. And that way it's good too, like, because I like to track down all the frequent questions I'm getting all the time. Mm-hmm. So once I get like if I know I'm getting like 20 questions, 20 repeat questions of the same topic, you can just basically just create one video to handle it all the time. So this way you get everything preset, click the button, and then that video goes out, and then now they're in that sequence. Basically, because now you know where their mind's thinking and where they're shifting to. So
Chris had a question here as well while we were going over that, where do we have a preferred agent following up on leads right from the start as well? Two better than one. Yeah, I mean, so it kind of goes back into how you feel. Long answers. How you philosophically approach like a lead, right? Like why you're doing this to begin with. There's one school of thought that says convert everything you can, cherry pick the best ones, and then send everything else to a realtor that you work with, that you already have a good connection with, and that can vibe, and you can send deals back and forth. And there's another school of thought that says use these leads as a way to broaden your realtor horizons, how to get more realtors to work with you, more teams, while you establish yourself as a lead generating machine effectively who can thereby get the deal closed. You're good at your job doing loans too. So yeah, I mean there's two schools of thought there. I personally, because I do real estate and mortgages in my state, I'm a little bit different, so I can't give like blanket advice of what I do, because I want to keep every lead, because I'm the realtor, I'm the mortgage company, we're the escrow company, we're the notary, etc. So I want to keep everything I can inside the sphere to service them. But for someone who only performs one of the functions, I would go ahead and think of it as, well, of these, let's say you pull in 100 leads, right? And of these 100 leads, if you're at 1% closing thing like I do, and again, Rob's like laughing for 1%, but let's say you do have 1% closing ratio and one of those things close, first of all, you spend a lot of time servicing those 100 leads, and then you also worry about the fact that that's your payoff for those for that fund, the one commission check. If you take those 100 leads and you say, well, there are 5 offices I would love to work with in the area who could send me a lot of leads, and not a lot of leads, a lot of deals, and I could just be their lender. What you can do is take 20 of those leads, and you can it takes a little more work and a little bit of salesmanship toward the brokers. You can say, hey, my name's Chris. I'm the guy who has all these leads. I'd like to send you 20 right now and see what you guys can do. And then you foster a relationship. You build that relationship there, but you foster it as you go by adding more value than just leads. Also, Facebook, social media training, everything you learn from BFA is of value to the average realtor. So offer that to them as I'm the source of information for this thing right here. And you could potentially, by doing that, get 5 referral partners that each will send you 1 or 2 deals every month if they're converting and they're closing. And you could from one funnel establish yourself with recurring income, recurring business. So that's what I like to do. That's what I would like to do if I didn't have my system the way I have it right now. That would be that's what I did at Golden One anyhow, is what I built a relationship with them. So that, Chris, for you, I would say, I would say try it that way. I would talk to a couple, first of all, I talked to a couple loan officers in the Entourage group. Like I might just make a post and say, hey, just trying to start a discussion here, what's the best way to handle these things? And then some folks who are in the tribe and Entourage can chime in on what they do. As loan officers. That works really well, and majority of them work in a capacity that gets more realtors on their side and works with them in a closer capacity. Leads are really like currency at the end of the day. Until you actually close them and get paid off of them, they're not a payoff. They're just something you can use to get your foot in the door or get further in the door. Is how I feel about it. So, oh yeah, realtors love leads. We love leads and we love listings. So, for people who want to run funnels, tune in next week for sure and run those listing funnel, because I'm gonna put it this way. I've got like a separate bank account that I've been saving up for when someone figures this shit out, so I can just launch that and fund it and then capitalize. But in any case, we're really talking about here, just short answer to your question. The takeaway is time, ROI of your time ROI, right? Do you really want to farm and convert and try to close 100 leads that come in just to get 1 commission check, or do you want to be the guy in your area who has these leads, who has realtors come to them where, hey, how do I do this cool thing on Facebook? Or, hey, how do I run my own funnel? You can be like, tell them, oh, don't worry about it. I'll send you some leads for you. I'll got perfect funnels. I'll send you the leads. You can Donald Trump it and say, we got the best funnels. You can just do that if you want to. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you actually get leads. You get leads, right? So that's pretty much it. That's a takeaway there. Trying to see any other questions. This is one of the quieter days. I feel like as we get closer and closer to Christmas, everyone is getting progressively more and more inebriated on eggnog or just on vacation, and the questions just kind of stop coming. But I actually love this kind of stuff. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's the slow season. Let's take time off," and y'all are like, "It's not. It's slow season. Let's learn and let's make it not the slow season." So it's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Okay, so
the cool part is once you build these leads, you can. I mean, you should always keep these leads within your database as well too, because there's other offers you can be pitching these leads, especially within a community. You can work out deals with business owners saying, hey, I got X amount of people with this type of data, these whatever demographics, if you offer me a 20% code, whatever, I want X amount of dollars. So there's always other ways to work your leads. So this way, you have other revenue coming in from the leads because they're exclusive to you. So you might as well leverage the leads in other ways.
That's a really cool point. I mean, that I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's what I used to do.
Yeah.
Yep. So what I have, I still help a couple of local realtors out around my way. So what I have them do is, and two loan officers, what they're doing is they're just leveraging their own leads that they're generating. So they'll set up monthly arrangements with small business owners or other business owners saying, hey, I got 3,000 leads, this type of criteria that would blend well with what the data you have or the leads you have. Can we give them a special discount, special offer? Because now you're sending them different content as well too. You're not always blasting them with home info all the time. Maybe you can mix it up and give them, hey, a special discount to this restaurant or this special event that's going on exclusive to your list. No other people within the community get this 30% off. This is just for you, and all that kind of stuff. We can get more into that detail later, but basically the simple point is just you can leverage your leads as well in other ways to make some other revenue come in, recurring revenue as well too.
Oh, dude, absolutely. And that, I think you hit the nail on the head with what you said in a big way, where don't just bombard these people with house info. I mean, they're
Right.
the house is a big part of it. They obviously want a house; it's where you make your money. But they're buying the neighborhood. They're buying the lifestyle, the community. So
Exactly.
if you have on that, yeah, I mean, hit them with that. At the end of the day, they want to be a part of the community. Get them restaurants,
Yep.
get them cool events, things like that. Be not just like the real estate guy. There's millions of those, right? Be the housing guy. Be that community's guy. Same with what Rob's doing with the firefighters and with the vets and things like that. He's being their community guy, their source of questions. Of course, we've all got the same inventory, right? I mean, Rob doesn't have houses that I have, and vice versa. We all have the MLS, subverts that. What we have is our service, our own personalized touch, and that's the best way to do that. Is not to bombard them with what we're selling, but bombard them with what they're buying. If that makes sense. That wasn't clear, I know, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? Hopefully.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Then you're in with the business owners too, and then you get referrals from the business owners now. So it's like a trickle effect. So
exactly. And there's a lot of people. I think Rob, you're doing this. I'm kind of following you, but Adam Stark did a lot of that when he was doing in Jefferson City. You in many ways, just by being available and being the guy who has what everyone wants, which is leads and the way to get them. You kind of integrate yourself into every stage of that community or your state if you're a loan officer. But it's hard to do it state by state. But, community with realtors, it's easier to be like, actually, that's not true. That's not true. I'm going to recant that because I know guys in the tribe who are doing their whole state. Steve Green. I don't know the name of the town that Steve Green lives in, but I know the name of the two states that know him as the guy, and he's doing really great. People like Tim Loss doing really well statewide. So I mean you can do statewide as a loan officer. I don't mean to say that you can't, but as a realtor, it's really really easy to be like community oriented. Have everyone in the area kind of be like, oh, it's Rob, oh, it's Todd, kind of a thing. That's what I was getting at. So, I mean, we're pretty much here at 45 minutes. If anyone wants to go over anything or ask me like last questions, or if Rob wants to hit his home with something at the end, I think this is the time because I feel as though we have exhausted everyone's attention at this point. So, last question, last remarks, anybody at all? Now's the time for the hold your peace kind of deal. Give it a second, type them out if you want to, but if not, cool guys. Thanks for coming on board. Next week is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have Rob, the man down here, doing it on Tuesday. And if all goes well, we're going to have Dana Croft on Thursday with us, talking about how to integrate your card tap app into your funnels so you can effectively be the mobile marketing machine you always wanted to be. No, those are not her words. She's not that cheesy. That's me. Do not make fun of her for that. It's this guy right here. Thank you all so much. Good luck. Rob, thanks for coming on board as always. And
good job.
rock and roll. Thanks, guys.